Hey, everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. Today's guest is one of the largest open pro bodybuilders in the world. Been following this guy for years. Keeps getting better and better, especially these last 2 years. Please welcome the Brooklyn Beast, Akim Williams. How are you, Akim?
I'm good, Ron. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, because, we are just days away. We're recording this on a Monday, and Friday and Saturday we'll be in Atlanta for the Chicago Pro, the last chance to qualify for the Olympia. It's gonna be a nice show, man. A lot of good competitors. I'm so glad that you decided to enter because, I'm looking at the names and there's some good names, but I want all the best people that haven't yet qualified to jump into that show. And I was very happy to see your name there. So,
Oh,
uh,
thank you.
let's sum up for the fans who don't realize what a busy year you had in 2019. Let's just summarize that real quick. You did the Arnold Classic Ohio last year, ninth place. Arnold Classic Brazil, third place. South America, I'm sorry they call it. Big Man Weekend in Portugal. Was it Portugal or Spain? The Big Man thing.
Spain.
Spain. Okay. Second place there to Josh Lenardowitz. Indy Pro, second to Steve Kuklo. New York Pro, second to Juan Morel. Man,
Hmm.
you've got a lot of second places. 2018, and I was at some of them. I was like, oh, it's rough because I've been there as an amateur. I know how it's 2018. You were second to Muscle Mayhem, the Toronto. But let's see, and then you finished off the year 2019 with the a top 10. You got ninth at the Olympia.
Yeah.
Not a bad way to finish off the season for sure because you'd only done the Olympia once
One,
before in
once before
2016.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you were 50. You were top 15. You made 15th at
I
that
made
point.
top 15. Yeah.
And this year, we haven't had a lot of shows this year, as you know.
Yeah. I know.
You did the Arnold. Thought you looked really, really good. Seventh place.
Yeah.
And then, so what were your? Everybody had plans for 2020 that got messed up. What were you planning to do? Were you planning to do the Arnold Australia too right after that?
Well, I was gonna skip down to Australia and do the show out in I think it was St. Louis. I think.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I always look better my second go around, especially from show to show. So I was gonna do that show. Probably would have won that and then qualify for the Olympia, but everything got shut down. So New York gyms was closed, so I couldn't train, and so I had to, just take a back seat and see just how everything played out. And
Yeah.
then finally, I saw New York was moving to Florida, and I'm like, I made a last minute decision when I was about, I think it was 8.5 weeks, 9 weeks out from Chicago, to
Yeah.
just jump in. So I had to do a very intense diet, and it worked out.
Right. Were you thinking about doing the New York Pro that was in Tampa?
I wanted to, but I wasn't sure as to if they're going to cancel the show, if they're going to have it, because nothing was happening in New York. And then
Yeah.
when they moved it to Florida, I wasn't expecting that. So it was too late. By the
Yeah.
time I found out about that, it was already too late to do it.
Yeah. This has been its toughest year for the athletes, promoters, everybody, because
Hmm.
no promoters ever want to cancel a show. That's how they make their money. But
Yeah.
it's not up to them. It's up to the government, state, federal governments, and they're telling them, I've seen some of these shows have gone off without an audience, which is nuts. I never got a chance to ask you because I haven't talked to you since the Arnold. You did your judging for the Arnold with no audience. It was just a completely empty hall with just first couple rows had the judges, photographers, a couple of coaches. That was probably the first time you'd ever done that in your life, gone through a judging with silence out there. What was that like as an athlete?
It was more different. I felt like, it was less distraction, less people
Hmm.
screaming and stuff like that. So it wasn't a bad move. It
Yeah,
didn't bother me at all. I
yeah,
was just happy to be on stage because I remember I think we were a week out and they were saying that they might be canceling the honor, like people were saying stuff like that. So I was just happy to be on stage because I really thought the show wasn't gonna happen.
yeah. I mean, I don't know who you're friendly with, but a few people were getting ready for that Australia show, the Arnold Classic Australia. A week later, that did get canceled.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you imagine prepping for a show,
Hmm.
being like 6 days out, and then being told, "Don't come out. We're not having the show anymore." Ugh.
Yeah, that's crazy. I know some people that actually booked a flight and a hotel and stuff like that, and then it got canceled, and they had to wait months to get a refund. So that
Yeah.
really sucked, man.
Yeah, airlines, for those who don't know, airlines are not being very cooperative with giving refunds this year at all. We
Yeah,
had
yeah. Even now, when you book a flight, you got to pay for seats and stuff. It's crazy.
yeah, yeah, my kid was going to go to Madagascar. You know where
Mhm.
that is from the cartoon. That trip got canceled, and we haven't been able to get the money back for the flight yet. Anyway, neither here nor there. You told me right before we started recording. I asked if anything any big events had gone on since last time
Uh,
we talked. And, you gave me some sad news. COVID did hit you very personally. Your grandmother passed away, and it wasn't very long after Arnold, right? You said it was about a month later.
yeah, it was about a month later. Yeah, she got sick. She had actually, she wasn't infected with the virus. You know, she just had some high blood pressure problems, and she went to the hospital and she picked it up from there.
So
So
many stories like that because the
yeah,
hospitals are, yeah, and nursing homes. I don't, she was, I guess she wasn't in a nursing home, but
no, no, she was felt healthy, 100% healthy. You know, she just
wow,
had some high blood pressure issues, and she went to the hospital to check it out, and that was it. After that, we never saw her again because back then they had to, like, you couldn't visit, you couldn't do any of that. So the last
right.
time we saw is when she went to the hospital.
Wow.
That
I'm
was it.
sorry, man.
No, yeah.
Were you able to bury her, or you couldn't even do that?
We actually had to cremate her because they couldn't even do that neither because it wasn't the heat of everything that was happening. You know, so
Yeah,
there
yeah,
was
yeah.
no funeral service, none of that.
Wow.
So it was
So,
pretty sad.
yeah, I mean, that's probably one of the worst things I'm hearing. Yeah, I'm very fortunate no one that very close to me has happened, but when they're sick and when they're dying, normally you can have your family around to comfort you in your final moments. And
Yeah, yeah,
COVID, yeah, they don't allow anybody in there. So
yeah.
these poor people have to die alone. It's really,
Yeah.
really tragic.
That was the sad part about it. She died alone.
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. So another thing that happened in New York, and it happened all over the country, but I think New York and New Jersey are the two states that had gyms shut down the longest in the USA. So
Yeah.
we all shut down around the same time, which was a couple weeks after the Arnold. I think
Hmm.
we had about a week or maybe 10 days after the Arnold at home to train, and then boom, gyms were just shut. And
Yeah.
when did yours open? Not till late August?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you're a big, big dude who lifts a lot of heavy weight. What were you doing that whole time?
At first, if you look at my apartment right now, it's filled up with cardio equipment. So I kind of stocked up on that. So I had no excuse when
Yeah,
if I decide to do a show, get my cardio done, you
right.
know. But as far as the training, I drive 2 hours every day, almost 3 hours a day to go train at my coach Oscar's gym. So
Mm.
it's a private gym, so I wasn't really affected. It's just the driving was a lot.
That's a lot.
Sometimes you don't want to take that trip, the tolls and everything like that. But
Wait,
I made it
three,
work.
is that one way, 2 or 3 hours?
About 2 hours each way.
My gosh. Well,
Yeah,
You're in Brooklyn?
I'm all the way up North Jersey now.
Oh, Jersey. Is he
I'm
in
out.
Brooklyn?
Yeah, he's in close to Brooklyn. Yeah,
Wow.
but
So
if
take,
you look at New York traffic and everything like that, you
holy
you
cow.
get stuck in traffic. That's it. You could hit 3 hours easy. Just sitting in traffic.
That's so, let's give the realism for the people who don't understand what a guy like you has to eat every 2 hours.
Hmm.
So you got to pack meals. You got to
Yeah.
make sure you're well fed.
Hmm.
And the worst thing is, you don't even know when you're going to arrive, right?
No, the,
So I
the
mean,
the the time always changes. Doesn't matter if you use a GPS. The time is going to change.
yeah.
So
So I mean, you tell Oscar, I'm leaving at I don't know what time of day you would leave, but you'll get there when you get there, I guess, right?
yeah. Well,
And
I mean, I kind of like got it down to a science now.
mm,
I know if I leave my house anytime before 11 a.m., I
yeah.
could get there like an hour and a half. Anytime after 12 p.m.,
Mm.
then no, then it'll take me some time.
And what was traffic like on the way back?
It depends. If you leave in the afternoon, like when work is over, then it'll be bad. But if you live like around 6 p.m. at night, you
Yeah.
get home in like 50 minutes.
So man, this sounds like it could be I'm assuming a workout by the time you get there, talk, warm up, and it's a couple hours at Oscar's place, right?
Yeah, my patience has been very has improved a lot.
Because I mean, that's like your whole day. That's your
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
day.
basically.
Wow. But we've seen Oscar train in the MHP videos.
Hmm.
We've seen Oscar train you, so it definitely seems like it's worth the trip because he's a master at training people, and it looks like that place. He has everything you could ever need at his private gym, right?
Yeah, definitely. And there's no distractions. You don't have to fight with people over machines and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's worth the
So
trip.
so the last time we talked, it was right before the Arnold, and the past couple months before that, you would sort of again, you can guys go back in the MHP videos and check it out. But you talked about changing up your training style a little bit with Oscar,
Hmm.
where before you were known for these crazy, crazy heavy weights, definitely one of the strongest bodybuilders. I hate saying the strongest bodybuilder in the world because then like two or three other guys go, "Hey, I'm the strongest bodybuilder." Whatever. You're all.
They could have that. They could have that title. I don't really care about that anymore.
I mean, you could argue it all day. It's probably like five or six guys that you could say that about. But you started doing more reps, you started focusing on more contractions. I think you said you started training like a bodybuilder for the first time ever, just like last year. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And you can see the improvements in my conditioning. You can see the improvements in my overall physique in terms of the muscle separation and stuff like that. So it's been
Yeah.
working, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, as you have you can, it's been a while. Have you continued on that path and done the same type of
Of
training?
course, you know. I think the package that I bring for Chicago go definitely going to show, you know, all the improvements and everything like that. So I'm excited to be on that stage. You
Yeah.
know, I feel like I'm bringing a really amazing package. So I'm definitely excited.
I mean, you're deadly. You've got all the size in the world, very good structure and shape. It's with you, it always came down to condition. And that's
Hmm.
something, Giles Thomas, he says the same thing. So I don't want to sound like I'm parroting him, but you have really started to figure out your condition so much better these last couple.
Hmm.
And it's a relief to those of us who've been watching you for years and years, because like you see some people and it's not like they need to bring up, if somebody needs to bring up like their back or their legs, I see many people that they just never do. It never happens. But condition, I think that's something, if everyone just figures out the right formula for them, everybody can get that condition eventually if they just figure it out. You figured it out. What were the keys to you figuring out how to finally nail that condition and get nice and shredded and dry?
I think it's just a training style.
Mm.
You know, if you're training like a powerlifter, you're not really maximizing, you know, what the muscle could do and stuff like that. It's going to limit, you know, the type of separations you have. You know,
Mm.
if you're
Yeah.
doing 1, 2, 3 reps instead of doing reps of 15, 20 reps and stuff like that, the muscle is not going to show that separation. You know,
Yeah.
so it's just a training style.
You also just you started coming in a little bit lighter, which that's a relative thing, but lighter for you is like 250, 255.
Hmm.
Whereas what were you coming in at your heaviest before, like 270 or more?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
it depends because at the Olympia, I was about like 270, 275. So
Oh wow.
yeah,
Okay.
so it depends, and that was a pretty good look. So
Yeah, it was.
I don't play the scale game anymore. We just go by how I look. You know,
Do you know what you weigh?
not now. I don't really care.
That's good. That's great.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna step on a scale and become a slave to a scale. You know, just go by how I look.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
I mean,
And I've been lucky enough to have Oscar come over every day for the last week, just to make sure everything is on point. Definitely excited as to what we're gonna bring for Chicago.
yeah, I mean, you did two things that I think stop a lot of bodybuilders from fulfilling their ultimate potential is they worry about how much weight they lift and they
Hmm.
worry about how much they weigh.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, by if you can ever get those two things out of your head, which
Hmm.
you've done, it's made such a difference on you. You look so much better now.
Yeah.
And the whole weight thing, we all have egos. We're all men. Does it ever bother you? I was squatting 800. Now I'm only squatting 600. Do you ever want to use those heavy weights again? Just do a couple reps?
Sometimes on the bench press, I was able to back in the days I could incline 5 plates and stuff
That's
like
right.
that. But now, it's just no point to it. I don't want to get injured and stuff like that. So sometimes, you might be in the gym and you see a young kid pushing 4 plates on the incline, and you're just like, damn, like, that used to be
Yeah.
me. But at the end of the day, you got dreams, you got goals.
Right.
You're not just chasing. There's a million people I could lift 400 pounds in the weight room.
Yeah.
There's very few people I could say they won 8 Mr. Olympias. So
Yeah. I hate to say, Jay Cutler said it, so I can't. I'm not going to be the first one. He said Ronnie ruined it for everybody because he just happened to be super, super strong. And that
hmm
style of training worked very, very well for him.
hmm
But, for every Ronnie Coleman that it works well for, there's a million guys out there who are just going to get hurt or they're never going to make a connection with their muscles doing it that
yeah,
way.
yeah.
And yeah. And there's only one Ronnie, guys. Everyone watching this, you're not Ronnie. You're never gonna be Ronnie, guys. I'm sorry. There's only one. There's only one Akim. There's only one Cutler. There's only one of everybody. Um, so I'm excited about Chicago. I'm looking at the lineup,
hmm
and geez, it looks to me like your toughest competition. It seems to always a lot of times comes down to the New Yorkers at these shows, doesn't it? Yeah, no matter what part of the country we're in, or we could be in like Toronto, Canada, and I think it was Juan and you one time, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's you, Justin. Yeah, I mean this Nick Walker kid's new. I don't know how he's gonna compare, but I see it as a battle. And I'm doing a preview with Giles tomorrow, and that's what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna say it's gonna come down probably to Akim Williams and Justin Rodriguez, because you guys are both deadly, deadly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd like to sit here and say you're going to kill him, but I don't want to see anybody kill anybody. I want to see a battle. I want to see it go down to the wire. You know, I know that's stressful for you guys, but for the fans, that's awesome. You know,
Yeah.
I hated the Olympias when like Ronnie would just walk out and the show was over. It's like,
I
all
mean,
right,
he was that good, so
he
you know.
was, but that's boring. Isn't that boring?
Not to me. That just show you dominance.
It's true. It's true. But as a fan, you know, I talked to Hani Rambod the other day, and he said any champion after a few wins, people are going to turn on him and start to hate him because they always want to see somebody new and they always want an underdog.
Yeah, that's
So,
very true. Yeah.
so if you're dominant,
The whole Kai Greenfield Heat feud, you know, everybody wanted to root for the underdog, you know.
because you know Kai was they made that movie was a little ridiculous where they made Kai. They tried to make him like Rocky Balboa or something.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they tried to make Phil into this super villain, and we
Yeah.
know you know both of these guys. They're both cool guys. It's not like
Yeah,
one's a
yeah.
you know Phil's not a dick like that in real life. But anyway, so yeah, what have you been working on as far as physique wise? Anything that Oscar or you were really pinpointing on your physique since Arnold?
Well, I mean, the majority of times, you know, I tend to fall apart, especially from behind in terms of my back double biceps. So we've been working on that a lot. And I added definitely some new muscle. You know, it's not just conditioning that you can actually see the muscle. Like a lot of guys are conditioning, but they lack a lot of muscle.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely bringing a lot of muscle for this show.
Yeah, I'd say because that was probably the only area on you where I always wondered because your quads from the front, you could
Mm-hmm.
stick your hand in the cuts. They were that deep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could see you were crazy dry and strided and everything. But
Mm-hmm.
the back, I never saw that kind of detail in your back. So,
Mm-hmm.
man, I'm excited. If your back looks the way I want it to look in my
Mm-hmm.
imagination, these other guys are in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble.
Oh, trust me, you'll definitely be surprised, man.
Yeah, well,
And
that's good though.
I'm not just saying that like everybody else say. You know, I'm bringing a great package. I am bringing a really good, really good package to the
Well, I
Chicago
mean,
Pro.
your record over these past two seasons speaks for itself. You know, you've been very, very consistent. Where there were other shows where you know you'd look great at one show, and the next show you look like you needed a couple more weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd be excited if you win this because so far it's hard to believe you've got all these second and third places, and you've only so far we just got one win. We need to start piling on those wins. Yeah. I mean, you look at your physique and you say this guy should have like 5, 6, 8 wins by
Yeah,
now.
oh, I
You
know.
know, yeah. I mean, you're
I
just that
just
good.
I've been the bridesmaid for too often, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm
The
sure you're.
second place is starting to affect you after a while.
Oh,
Like, what else
well,
you got to do?
yeah, but I mean, also it's probably the kick in the pants that you need. It's like, man,
Yeah,
I never ever want to feel that second place again because,
yeah. I mean,
you
the
know,
2019 New York Pro was the worst though.
really, yeah,
Yeah, I really wanted to win that show.
that was close, man. That was so
Yeah,
close.
yeah.
Yeah, to this day, you know, honestly, you could have flipped a coin on that. There's so many times when it comes down to two guys,
Mm-hmm.
you can't have a tie in bodybuilding. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes you really should because you can't really say,
Mm-hmm.
you know, why was Juan better than you at that show?
Mm-hmm.
And if you had won, people could have said, why was Akim better than Juan? And it would have been, I think either argument would have been pretty hard because, you know, nobody's ever had a perfect physique where you couldn't find anything that could be better.
Yeah.
So what do you do? I give it up to the judges. They have a hell of a job.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, looking forward to seeing you up there again. So MHP, they've been very supportive throughout this whole thing. How long have you been with them now?
Wow. I want to say it's been a while now, about 4 years
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Yeah.
because yeah, it's and is it MHP Strong? Is their YouTube channel?
Yeah, they have a YouTube channel. They have the website. You can go to www.mhpstrong, place your orders. You know, they was always giving out a lot of free stuff in terms of the free T-shirt, shake a cup, and stuff like that, in any order and stuff like that. So, you know, you guys definitely welcome to check them out. And just message me on Instagram if you have any questions about the products and stuff like that. You know?
It is what is that? Akim underscore BK Beast Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to ask you about that BK Beast. BK is for Brooklyn, everybody. I thought it was British Knights, the old sneakers from the 80s. Nobody unless they're as old as me is gonna know what the hell I'm talking about. But yeah, have you guys done any new video content with Mike Pulcinella?
We did. We shot a pretty cool video 2 weeks out. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks out. We did it with a firefighter from New York, Newark.
Yeah.
You know, first responders. We did a video with one of the firefighters out there, and he's a pretty strong guy. You know, we pulled some serious weight. It's a pretty good video, you know, because he was talking about being a firefighter and using the training in the gym to help him when he got to run into a burning building and stuff like that. So it's a pretty awesome video. I posted some. We posted some clips off it on my Instagram, so you guys are welcome to check it out. You know.
Yeah. Did he win a contest to be able to train with you or something?
I think it was. I think so. I think he
Okay.
requested me because he's a very strong guy and he knows I'm strong. So he won and he requested me. So it's kind of funny because when they told me I had to shoot a video with somebody, I wasn't sure who it was. So I went there with the intention that since I'm like 3 weeks out from a show, you know, we're just gonna like do some crappy workout or whatever. And this guy shows up wanting to train.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember who I was talking to recently said the only time I ever train heavier than I really mean to is when like I train with a fan or someone and they're like really they're trying to outlift me.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. He was trying to outlift me the whole time. I'm like, dude, like, you know, we're gonna have to have a rematch. We're gonna have some calories in me or something, man.
Yeah. But, you know, I get it. I get it as a fan, I'd probably do the same thing. I'd be like, I got to show this guy I'm not a wuss. I gotta out train him. You know, but that's cool. That's cool that you did that for a guy. Because man, first responders, we've been needing them a lot this year for sure.
Exactly.
They've been very very busy.
Exactly.
With everything. This is a crazy year. Yeah, I want to thank anyone who's all you athletes. Any athlete who's preparing for shows this year should get special credit because shows have been canceled left and right. People have been prepping for shows. The date gets moved, or then the show's just taken away completely. And I mean, you know, the average person out there, the average fan, especially if they've never competed, they don't understand. Prep is very, very demanding, time consuming. You spend a lot of money. It's so much energy. It's very demanding. And to do all that, not even knowing if your contest is going to happen on that day that it's supposed to, God bless you guys.
Not only that, you saw what happened to Big Ramy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So there's so many variables, man, and like you said, just hats off to everybody out there that you decided to do a show this year. You know, definitely shows your determination, shows your passion for the sport and everything like that. So congratulations. Whether you place last or first, it doesn't matter. The fact that you're actually willing to get up every day and just put in that work to step on stage just shows how determined you are as a person. So congrats to everybody out there.
And you need to not let anybody breathe on you until this weekend is over. We can't have you getting COVID too.
I've been like yesterday. I actually, for the first time, I wanted to go pick up some new sneakers for the show or whatever. So I decided to go to the mall, and I kind of felt funny because I haven't been around that much people in a while, and it was cool to be outside and like feel like it's normal, even though we were walking around with a mask on. But I haven't been around that much people in a while, so it still feel a little weird, you know. But
that's the strangest thing. We're all getting used to being indoors alone and just talking to people on Zoom and Skype and FaceTime now. It's creepy.
Yeah, it is creepy.
It's like a science fiction movie.
Yeah, I know. The whole mask increasing out every day. Like that's why even though the gyms are open over here, I refuse to go to a regular gym. Wow. I just can't do the whole mask thing, man.
Does your gym make you wear a mask even while you're training?
No.
No.
That's just like they make you sign a waiver and you know, it's up to you.
But you don't want to you just don't want to take the chance and get COVID.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you do that and there goes your prep. There goes everything, right?
Exactly.
I mean, what's going to happen with Ramy? I don't know. What's going to happen?
Yeah, I know. It's sad, man. I feel so bad for him.
Health-wise, I think he's going to be okay. I mean, he's a young, strong, healthy guy. It's just now he'll probably, my theory is he's going to get a special invitation for the Olympia.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
If I was him, you know, even if you don't get a special invitation, I would go to the Romania show and just qualify early, you know.
For next year, yeah. But I'm sure he wants to do it this year.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because he missed it last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, how many? I can imagine. You know, careers aren't that long in bodybuilding. You don't want to miss Olympias.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you miss any shows, you don't want to miss the Olympia if you're qualified. You know, because that's how many Olympias you get to do in your life, unless you're Dexter. Is this 20 for him? This is 20, the 20th Olympia for this guy.
That's insane, man.
Wow.
Hell of a career. Yeah, he's still going strong. So you know.
Wow. Yeah.
That's amazing. You just got to give him all the respect. You know, he deserves it.
Yeah, he is 50. I think he just turned 51.
Yeah.
Yeah. God love him, man. Whew.
Yeah.
So cool, man. Well, we're all looking forward to seeing you, Akim, on the stage again It's been a crazy year. Thank you for getting ready and doing this show because you could have been like a lot. I know so many people, so many amateurs and pros who like, nah, not this year. Nah,
Hmm.
they're just not even, they don't want to deal with it because,
Yeah.
like I said, nothing's for certain.
Hmm.
So, you're going through, you're putting all this work in and you're getting ready for the fans, for everybody that's been waiting to see you. Cause, these fans, they're dying to see some good competitions because
Yeah.
this has been a terrible year for everybody. But sports fans have in bodybuilding especially we've been shortchanged. We haven't seen all the
Hmm.
shows that we normally would. So
Crazy.
yeah. So I will see you in a couple days in Atlanta for the Chicago Pro. Yeah. So guys, please everybody check out the coverage. You'll be seeing this guy on stage. We're doing play-by-play, contest photos, videos, all kinds of good content. Check him out. Any last shout outs or thank yous that you need to do, Akim?
Of course, definitely. Definitely thank you to Gerard MHP, my sponsors, for sticking by me and just giving me all the support I need to go into the Chicago Pro. And a huge, huge thank you to my coach Oscar Hard, man. He's been awesome. I can't say that enough. The things that he has done for me. The sacrifices we have made to step on this Chicago stage is tremendous. So, you know, I can't thank him enough for just being there and being that type of coach that I need to get me to the next level in bodybuilding.
Yeah. He's going to the show, right?
Yes.
Cool. I'll have to catch up with Oscar.
Hmm.
Cool dude. All right. Well, guys, everybody, thanks for watching. Check out this man on stage this weekend at the Chicago Pro, Akim Williams, open bodybuilding, 200. What do you think? He doesn't know what he weighs, but he's big, man. He's big. Just that's all you need to know. So, guys, thanks for watching. Check him out this weekend, and we'll see you next time.